What is going on, guys? Paul Ryan back at it again. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday night. Let's talk some Cowboys. I was just reading an article by Josh Sanchez of Dallas Cowboys on SI, Sports Illustrated, for those who, aren't familiar. And he was talking about how uh, DeMarvion Overshone, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, was named an NFL X Factor by I guess people in ESPN. I didn't actually get a chance to read the article that he was not necessarily quoting, but mentioning in his article that stated that people think that DeMarvion Overshown is going to be the X factor for the Dallas Cowboys this year. But I'd love to hear that, man, because as if you've been listening to this, following along with this channel, listening to the podcast, I've talked a lot about these linebackers, and I think it's safe to say, for me, speaking only for myself, of course, the linebacker group is probably the position group I'm most excited to see on defense. And then I'll say the wide receivers. I'm curious, the most curious about running backs, how they do. Um, People have been talking about Rico Dowdle quite a bit lately, talking about how, he's been in the league for 5 years. He's an undrafted guy. That there's some concerns about Rico being the main guy, and after knowing, I didn't realize that he'd already been in the league for 5 years. I believe this is going to be his sixth year. But just knowing that and knowing his injury history and whatnot, I can understand how people are concerned about him being the main guy, and just about this run game overall. But hopefully we get to see some more Deuce, if anything, right? But yeah, I've talked a lot about Deuce Vaughn and the running backs this offseason. But yeah, that's the position group on offense that I'm most curious to see. The position group I'm most excited to see on offense again is definitely the wide receivers. The Jalen Tolbert hype has kind of calmed a little bit, but Ryan Flournoy, he started making some more waves, if you will, having a strong preseason and having a strong training camp. So interested to see what he'll do this season. But yeah, the wide receivers are a group that I'm excited to see, especially with again, going back to the running game. If that's not as uh, if that unit doesn't offer a lot of strength or doesn't complement this offense the way that we are accustomed to or the way that we would like it to, then that could have a really, really big year. And that means that the wide receivers could have a really big year. Of course, CeeDee Lamb's going to always do his thing, but I am curious to see if Jalen Tolbert or Brandon Cooks is going to be the wide receiver too this year. And of course, Jake Ferguson, I talked about it a few times already, but I talked about it way, way back at the beginning of the offseason. I think he's due for probably a top five, if not a top three type season. I think at the end of this year, people will be talking about Jake Ferguson as at least a top five tight end in the NFL. So excited to see what he'll do. Just excited for football, man. It's a little over a week away. Kickoff: Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, with in addition to a lot of other games, right? With the first week of the NFL season kicking off, and yeah, I mean, just on Thursday night. I mean, I say a week away. That's just the first Sunday of the NFL. Really, it's about 5 days away when you think about the Ravens and Chiefs kicking off on Thursday night. Which, man, that game right there, can't ask for that much of a better matchup. I think it would have been kind of cool to see maybe the Lions and the Rams, or Lions and 49ers. That would have been interesting. That would have been an interesting one to kick off the season. But Patrick Mahomes being the face of the NFL, or at least in my opinion, he always got to get him there on Thursday nights. I think this is going to be his second year in a row doing that. This past year, playing the Lions and actually losing, which was a great way to start off the NFL season. But yeah, again, I'm excited for football to be back. Excited to experience the season with you guys. And I'm going to end it there before I start to rambling and spend a long day. Again, I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I'm Paul Ryan. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.